What's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports. The Athletic comes out with a damaging hit piece for the Jets. It confirms what we all already knew. The Jets are dysfunctional. The Knicks win again last night. They keep rolling. January is done for the Knicks, but they go flying into February. And we have Mark Mancini. All that and more coming up next. Locked Up Sports. What's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, however you consume this show, it's powered by Vouch Store. Visit the Vouch Store. We have Split Rock Coffee, which is veteran made. It's coffee with a purpose. You're helping out veterans if you buy it. We also have the Camp Craft cocktails and a whole bunch of other stuff. Visit us at vouch.store/lockedupsports, vouch.store/lockedupsports. And let's get right to it here. We're going to have Mark Mancini in a couple minutes for you. But the Jets got slaughtered today on a hit piece by The Athletic. They came out. It was a whole article. It basically, what it did was confirm that what we already knew. Like I just said, the Jets are dysfunctional from the top on down. All the way from Woody on down. And Saleh, it confirmed what I knew, at least, that Saleh, he couldn't have been happy with Zach Wilson during the season. He wouldn't come out and say it publicly. It also confirmed that the team was not happy with Zach Wilson. It confirmed that Nathaniel Hackett is basically a disaster and that the only reason he's there is because of Rodgers. Understand and how you didn't realize any of this stuff and how this is really a bombshell for the Jets. They got rid of today. Now, after the story came out, there was some repercussions. They got rid of the right-hand man of Douglas, and Joe Douglas. Now, is Joe Douglas in trouble? I don't think he is, because Rodgers wants him there. And one of the most telling lines I saw in the whole article when I read it was a league source or another GM in the league had said, Joe Douglas, Rodgers isn't the assistant GM. Joe Douglas is. Rodgers is running the show. We all knew he was running the show. And once he got hurt, he was kind of MIA. Wilson said he thought he would have a direct line to Rodgers throughout the season, to be his mentor and to get his career back on track, which wasn't going to happen either. But he didn't. Rodgers would fly in from California for game day. He'd be on the headsets, talking, giving suggestions. And then by Monday morning, he was already hightailed it back out to California, getting ready to go on the Pat McAfee show. And then the distraction that really was a distraction when Rodgers was saying all that stuff about Jimmy Fallon, the Jets didn't think it was a big deal. Why? Because it was Rodgers. And they are putting everything in the basket of Aaron Rodgers. And I can't, if I was running that team, if I was Woody Johnson, I would say, listen, Joe Douglas is gone. Saleh is gone. Daniel Hackett is gone. He's clearly inept, right? Sean Payton told us all over the summer that Nathaniel Hackett did possibly the worst job in NFL history coaching the Broncos. Now he comes to the Jets. They give him the offensive coordinator position because that's what Rodgers wants. And it's a disaster. Why? Because he doesn't really do anything. He's friends with Rodgers. Rodgers brought all his friends over, got them all jobs, said, just sit up there and kind of look like, like George in Seinfeld. Just look busy. Just, if you look busy, if you look annoyed, you look busy, is what George said. So he'd be, and I'll run the show here. And 4 plays into the season, the whole thing collapsed as Rodgers went down, tore his Achilles, and now nobody knew. And then Rodgers split. So he went down, tore his Achilles, Rodgers split. Gone. I'll be back next Sunday for the game. And that was 6 weeks in. He wasn't there for the first 6 weeks, but that's understandable. He was getting surgery and whatnot. So Rodgers splits, and now he's left all his buddies there, no idea what they're doing. Nathaniel Hackett has no idea what he's doing. Apparently, he wouldn't even come to the position meetings during the week. He'd show up last minute, a quick speech, and then that's it. And Robert Saleh sitting here taking this. Robert Saleh had no input on the offense. He's a defensive coach, and it said that he was more worried about the fact that the Jets were getting more bad press than the Giants. Who the hell cares? That's not your problem. Why do you even care? If there's one thing that you could see that Belichick does, he doesn't care what the press says. He doesn't give him much. He doesn't answer much. And if you watch Belichick, if you see Belichick outside of his capacity as a head coach, If you catch him on like a radio show, every once in a while he's on WFAN. If you catch him at like a golf thing or something like that, he's funny and he's personable. But if you watch Belichick while he's at work, while he's doing the press conference, he does nothing. He's boring. He's vanilla. He's the worst. Why? Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care what they write. He doesn't care what they say. He's going to coach his team a certain way, and that's how he's going to do it. And that's the main goal. Salah's sitting in a room worried that the Giants are not getting as much bad press as the Jets. Well, why do you think the Jets get bad press? The Jets haven't done anything. They have the longest playoff drought in American sports currently. 13 years. The Giants went to the playoffs the year before. Now the Giants had a bad year, but who cares that if they got the bad press? Who cares? It all fell apart, and apparently, and we all, this, like I said, this is not all news. I don't know why it's such a big story that Salah had no confidence in Zach Wilson. Nobody did. Nobody who knows anything about football had any confidence in Zach Wilson at all, because we saw him play. That the season was over when Rodgers went down. Duh. We all knew that too. That Nathaniel Hackett is basically negligent at his job and is a terrible offensive coordinator. Knew that. Wilson wasn't mentored by Rodgers like he was promised. He didn't have an open line to Rodgers like he was promised. You know who has an open line to Rodgers? Pat McAfee. That's who's got an open line to Rodgers. That's it. Rodgers is a weirdo. We all knew that. He's a great quarterback, all-time great quarterback, weird guy. He's not going to sit there and mentor Zach Wilson. He doesn't care about Zach Wilson. He could care less if Zach Wilson is successful. He's doing this strictly for him. And then that the Jets were all about, and Robert Saleh was fawning over Rodgers coming back. The Jets weren't going to make the playoffs. At 4-7, he was like, well, if it was stay in the playoffs, I'm going to come back. They weren't. Did you really think they were going to stay in the playoff race? At 4-7, Jets scored like 10 points a game. They weren't going to stay in the playoff race. They went out and they lost 30-0 to the Dolphins 2 weeks later, out. It's absurd. And I don't even know why this is news today. The news is that they fired Joe Douglas's right-hand man. That's news. Okay? Other than that, because now it's Joe Douglas. Now you're on the clock. Now we're watching it. Your right-hand man is gone. It was his second stint with the team. Now he's gone, and you're next. And Robert Saleh should be next too. The fact that he still has a job, again, thanks to Rodgers. Rodgers running the whole show over there. 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles tear, surgery, is running the Jets. Played 4 snaps for the Jets in his whole life. And you think this team's going to go and win a Super Bowl? You think the Jets next year are going to be able to beat the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens or the 49ers or the Lions? Any of these 4 teams? No. Aaron Rodgers or no Aaron Rodgers. Jets aren't beating any of these 4 teams that were left standing this weekend. So I fully expect another disaster from the Jets because Robert Saleh is clueless. Woody Johnson's clueless. They're dysfunctional from the very top all the way down. Woody Johnson was Trump's ambassador. That should say it right there, Jets fans. That should say it right there. Terrible. And then the Jets, and hey, listen, the one thing that came true, right? We all thought that, maybe the Jets would be in the news the week before Super Bowl, right? We thought it'd be because they're in the Super Bowl. Instead, it's because they're dysfunctional and they're a disaster. And it was as bad as we thought it was, if not worse. The Jets, oh man. And the worst part is that most Jets fans happen to be Mets fans as well. I got lucky. Listen, I don't know. I'm not a lucky guy. I got lucky because I happen to be a Giants fan and I have a couple Super Bowls. And that's really all I have. And the Rangers in 94. Besides that, I got nothing. Thank God I'm not a Jets fan. What a miserable, miserable existence. 13 years, longest playoff drought in American sports currently. And does it change next year? Probably not. It wouldn't shock me if Rodgers got hurt again. Rushing back. Dude. Good luck, Jets fans. Good luck. Enjoy the Super Bowl this week. The Knicks, I want to do real quick. The Knicks won again yesterday. And you know what, Jets fans? You could at least look to the Knicks, right? Because the Knicks were this dysfunctional for a while, a long time. They've come out of it. Now they are run competently. They're doing things the right way. And they just won 14 of 16 in the month of January. They are now rocketing towards that 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're one of the best teams in the NBA, one of the top 7 or 8 teams in the NBA. They have Jalen Brunson's going to be named to the All-Star team, his first All-Star team. They're blowing teams out. They're having 40-point quarters. Crazy. Archie had 35 points last night. Crazy. So if anything, Jets fans, look to the Knicks because they were just as dysfunctional as you are just a couple years ago. But the Jets have been like this for a long time. So the Knicks, another win. They go into February, and let's see if they can keep it up. Right? Let's see if they can keep it up. So let's get now to Mark Mancini, the Mancini report. We haven't had Mark. We haven't spoken to Mark in a couple of weeks. So we got a lot to go through with Mark. You know, he's our national guy. He covers everything. He's out west, out in the La La Land. So here he is, Mark Mancini, the Mancini report. All right, so now it's time for the Mark Mancini Report. It's brought to you by Split Rock Coffee. Coffee with a purpose. It's made by veterans. Head over to the Vouch store at vouch.store/lockedupsports to get yourself some Split Rock Coffee and help some veterans. Mark Mancini, Mark, the one, the man, the myth, the legend. What is up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, Split Rock Coffee. I love my job.
All right, so now it's time for the Mark Mancini Report. It's brought to you by Split Rock Coffee. Coffee with a purpose. It's made by veterans. Head over to the Vouch store at vouch.store/lockedupsports to get yourself some Split Rock Coffee and help some veterans. Mark Mancini, Mark, the one, the man, the myth, the legend. What is up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey, Split Rock Coffee. I love my Java. A cup of Joe in the morning. You, your wife's friends. Man, this show is great, man.
It's great.
Up steam.
Listen, I'm out of work. I'm rubbing elbows with the mayor. I'm helping the causes out. Now, the bill that we were pushing his veto got overridden today, but we did what we could. Trying to help out other officers while I'm hurting everything. So that's it. So
you're doing a lot, man. You know what? Maybe the mayor will help you help the New York Mets.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've said enough bad things about the Mets on here. I told the manager, I said, if you would have known what the things I called you, you would have never come on this show with me. That's what I said to Mickey Callaway a couple weeks ago. But hey, listen, I haven't spoken to you in a while. We have our Super Bowl set. We have the Chiefs, the Niners. It's a rematch. I kind of wanted a new blood in there. I was hoping the Lions and that whole collapse and everything happened. What'd you think of the championship Sunday? What are your thoughts looking ahead to the Super Bowl?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think it's a conspiracy clash, if you ask me. I really do, because it's in Vegas. Next year I'll be in New Orleans when that thing's down there. But when you look at it, they didn't want blue-collar teams in this thing, Baltimore, Detroit. They wanted the glitz and glamour of Vegas. I got a buddy that does news out there. And I said, I don't care anyone breaking it up, but telling me anything, but I'm going to stick to my guns on this. I think when you look at what the NFL's done, they want Taylor Swift. She's bringing a lot of money in there. Unfortunately, I'm not into 58-pound women dripping wet with a lot of lipstick that are trying out for the next Joker and Batman.
Listen, there's two types of people in this world. There's people who are Taylor Swift fans, and then there's liars. So I don't know. I guess you're just not. You just won't admit it. Everybody likes Taylor Swift.
Well, no, I'm not. See, she doesn't do anything for me. And thank God those Kelseys are from Cleveland. They're not from Pittsburgh, because when I meet those guys, I'm going to have to bust out my Cleveland shirt. Cleveland sucks. Feel of Pittsburgh lumber. Now, so those two guys, and especially Jason Kelce, he looks like something out of Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, but you know what? They're both good. They have the #1 podcast in the country, in the world. I think they're both going to the Hall of Fame. Kelce is, because what happened with Mahomes, and I was saying it all year. I said the Chiefs are struggling. Mahomes doesn't have a receiver since he lost his big receiver last year. They had drops all over the place. And what did he do when it came down to time, when he needed things done? He went right to his old trusty Kelsey. He had 11 catches, 160 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. And him and that defense that Spagnuolo threw together, which is brilliant. He's a brilliant defensive mind, is what won them and got him into the Super Bowl.
There's one Rob Gronkowski. I was blessed enough to sit down with him twice. When you look at Travis Kelce, he's no Rob Gronkowski as a tight end. He might not be a Mark Andrews. He might not be a Heath Miller. He had a down year this year when you check the stats on Travis Kelce. And what is it with the women like Taylor Swift to date these guys? They all fall off a cliff. This is a 15-minute car chase, my friend. I'm not buying any stock in the Chiefs.
The women love Travis Kelce. My wife loves Travis Kelce. She'd leave me in a heartbeat for him.
Come on, she doesn't like Hugh Jackman.
Listen, they like Hugh Jackman too. We could look like we like 2 different women too. There are many women out there that we all like. Okay, they like Travis. I'm telling you, they like Travis Kelce, and then they love that podcast, and he just endures himself to all of them. They love it. But I see, I'm not somebody who cares that they show Taylor Swift. It's really not a big deal to me. But now, as far as now, it's a money grab. Of course, it is
a money grab with the NFL.
Of course, it is.
It's a money grab when you break it down. Do you think anybody cares outside of Kansas City about the Kansas City Chiefs? They don't have a movement like the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. You really think ever since Patrick Mahomes was there, and I know Joe Montana was there, when was the last time the Kansas City Chiefs were relevant? Lenny Dawson?
Yeah, but here's the thing. They will have that following 20 years from now, because when the team's going through the dynasty, it's a bunch of kids that are watching. It's the same thing. That's why do you think there's a million Cowboy fans now? Because when they were kids, when I was growing up, they were all kids watching the Cowboys win Super Bowls. And the generation before that, what was it? It was kids watching the Steelers win Super Bowls. And then your whole generation there's a ton of Steelers fans. So I think in 10, 15 years, there's going to be a ton. And Mahomes is a likable guy. He's easy to he's easy to like. He doesn't make any missteps or anything. And I think Mahomes might be the best ever. Mahomes might be best ever.
Oh, come on. Brady's gonna be the best ever.
No. Peyton Manning's better than Brady.
Well, now here's where I'll go on this one with Brady. And the NBA, I'm a big fan of, the Kobe's and all those guys. And some guy the other day called the show, and I said, you should never call my show on crack and tell me Joel Embiid's the best 76er ever.
Like Dr. J, they have Dr. J, and
when you look at, they had Dr. J, they had Andrew Toney, the Boston Strangler.
Even Allen Iverson was better.
He's good. Yeah. Even a guy that didn't practice. Yeah, you're right. But when you look at what Mahomes has done, let's face it, this was the first year they actually had to do something to win to get to where they are today. They had to go through Buffalo and Baltimore. The last few years, they had to dodge. They dodged the Cincinnati, Buffalo kind of teams. They played everybody at home in their backyard, so they had the Kansas City barbecue home cooking. Now they won it this year. Maybe it was the movement of Taylor Swift. I don't know. I'm telling you, something smelled from the start.
I think you're crazy.
And let me ask you something.
You're trying to make a case against Mahomes. He's been the 6th straight AFC Championship games. He's now 4 out of 6 years in the Super Bowl. They have home games every year in the playoffs because they win in the regular season 12, 13, 14 games every year. He never plays a bad game. And when he has to step up, and this year was the question. He's
had the same target there.
Well, so did Montana. Montana to Rice, right? Brady had Brady had Gronkowski. Brady, the best tight end that you just made the case for, the best tight end ever. He had Edelman. He had Amendola. Brady had plenty of people.
Year he had Corey Dillon.
He also had Randy Moss.
Dillon another year.
He also had Randy Moss.
Yeah, he had him another. But very rarely was it the same guys in there year in and year out, except a couple guys. Mahomes has been there with the same cast of characters when you look at it, including the kicker, I think.
Yeah, hey, listen, I think the fact that you're making a case against Mahomes, I think he's good. When it's all said and done, now I can't argue with you with Brady because Brady has the 7 titles. He's done. That's the Jordan argument. That's the Jordan argument.
He would have had 9 titles if you take the New York Giants out of him.
Yeah. You know who beat him? Spagnuolo beat him. And Spagnola's the reason that they're going to the Super Bowl now, because that was a brilliant defensive plan he put together against the Ravens yesterday.
Here's the thing: the game has changed now. These quarterbacks. Some of these guys are wearing skirts. You can't even touch them. So Mahomes is getting some benefits to this thing too, more so than Brady did. Yeah,
but see, I'm one of the few people that I know of that is for the fact that they protect these quarterbacks, because you know why? Because we saw the league this year, right? The league was terrible with these quarterbacks going down. 20% of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL went down with season-ending injuries, and the quality the problem is there's 30 teams or whatever it is. There's not 60 guys who could play quality NFL quarterbacks. So when the starters go down, the product is just garbage. I mean, they were 6-0 games, 10-3 games. I don't want to watch them.
Let me segue into this. Kind of like the NBA, 145, 144, no defense, all totem poles. I mean, come on, man. A guy scores 62, another guy scores 70, another guy scores 70. This is the NBA. You're gonna tell me Luka Doncic is better than the Kobe Bryants and the Julius Irvings and some of these other guys and the Michael Jordans? Come on, these guys don't even play defense. There's no dynasty in the NBA other than maybe the Golden State Warriors when they won 3 or 4.
Yeah,
it's a watered down league.
Well, the Knicks dynasty is just on the ground floor, just getting going. 8 in a row, 14-2 in January. Here come the Knicks, baby. The Knicks are playing great.
And then we'll find out where they are in April when Julius Randle probably comes back.
Yeah, hey, listen, I know.
How about my Milwaukee Bucks with Doc Rivers out there? They're in Portland tonight. I mean, but it's tough. It's tough. Let me tell you, Bob, it's tough to watch the NBA this year. It just, there's no defense. Am I going to pay big money? If I'm not covering these things, I'm not paying to get in them places.
Yeah, I went to the Knicks game a couple of weeks ago. They won by 40 points. It was a blowout. I mean, I went to the St. John's game last week, and that's almost more exciting. St. John's, they have Pitino coach, and then they're upstart. And I always like the college game better anyway. I'm a college guy as far as basketball.
Yeah. $8,000 for a cheap ticket to sit up in the rafters with the Crows at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. You'll probably spend $25 for a hot dog, 40 for a beer, 150 to park.
I bought tickets.
Who's got that kind of money? Who's walking around?
I bought tickets for my father and my 2 brothers for Christmas presents and myself, and it was like $1,000 just for the tickets. And we weren't sitting next to Spike either. We were, we had good seats, but we were upper level. $1,000. It's crazy.
You know what's gonna happen with some of these teams? They're gonna fold like a rented chair, and what's gonna end up happening is people, like your daughter, God bless her, just born, or my grandkids, they're not gonna go to games. I mean, they won't be able to afford them. So people are gonna sit home and watch them from their couch. They're just not
it's all
go.
corporate. It's all corporate, especially Madison Square Garden.
It's going to get back to when the Cleveland Cavaliers drew 500 fans and the Pittsburgh Penguins had 600 fans when their inception in the league in '67. That's what you're going to get back to, because people just can't afford to go. The corporations will buy them up and they'll pass them out, and they'll come when it's a World Series or an NBA championship.
Now, what were
it's a reality.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's way too expensive. Baseball's not bad, and I know how to play the StubHub game. And you know what? Shame on StubHub too, because StubHub is double dipping, because they're getting outrageous fees from me buying the ticket, and they're getting fees from you who's selling me the ticket. So they're getting it from both ends. They're getting I buy like a $100 ticket. There's a $25 fee attached to it. So that's 25% from the buyer's perspective, and then they're hitting you for 25% for selling it to me. They're double dipping.
Well, they're not hitting me because I don't have sucker written around my forehead.
I know how to play it. I wait till the last second I get into playoff games and stuff.
I'm not buying that stuff, but I don't buy anything in their stores either. I'll wait till it comes out in the Salvation Army and sneak it in so my wife won't get mad.
now, what were your thoughts on the Lions collapse and the Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down? Do you blame him, or is that just I said that there's a difference between being aggressive and stupid, and the second one I can't condone.
Guys, we've been, you and I have been in locker rooms. We've been all over the place, and and I was talking with Kip Gross on this the other day about some of these reporters are just they're bright, energetic. I know they went to journalism class, broadcasting class, and everything, but some of them are downright dumb. I mean, it's like something out of Dumb and Dumber. I mean, I don't know if these guys just wear the same clothes, don't take showers, sleep in the car, and come out with a notebook and whatever. But they ask stupid questions, and asking Dan Campbell, who's been aggressive all year, what he did. And there was one blunder that was a little uncharacteristic of Dan. But other than that, I mean, you didn't watch the Detroit-Dallas game? You haven't watched this guy all year? He's a riverboat gambler.
Yeah, I know.
So why are you second-guessing him?
Because you have to kick the field goal. When that thing was slipping away and they had 27 unanswered points and you're down 3 and there's like 4 minutes left, I get it that you're aggressive and you go for it and you're a riverboat gambler, but you got to kick that. It's a 47-yard field goal. It's probably a 65 to 70% chance. He decided to go for it. It's not like it's 4th and goal. Okay, you're on the 30-yard line, so you still got a ways to go. You got to kick the field goal and just stop the momentum. Stop the train that is the San Francisco 49ers that's just barreling right over you at the moment, at that very moment.
Well, I think what he was trying to do was get the upper hand. He was trying to he was trying to push his chips to the center of the table, try to get the upper hand on San Francisco, try to go for the kill. Because he knows the 49ers are going to run that ball.
Well, that's the problem I have, Mark. He had a chance to go for a kill, right? And he's a gambler and he does it all year. He had the chance to go for the kill right before halftime to make it 28-7. He decided not to play. He played it conservative and he kicked the field goal. Why does he kick the field goal there and go for it?
The only thing that bothered me in his post-game conference, the rap or whatever it was, whatever you want to call it, was he was basically throwing in the towel and saying it's hard to get back here. I don't know if we could do it again. BS. He should have just rallied the troops and said, we're coming back here next year. Kind of take the quote from 08 Bumfield. We're going to knock on the door. We're going to bang on it a little harder. We're going to kick the SOB off its hinges. That's the kind of thing I wanted to hear from the guy. He's been with the players all year. He's been for them. That you don't have to throw in the towel when you lose to the San Francisco 49ers like that.
The kids love him.
That was the only drawback I picked up out of that press conference.
And the players will run through a wall for him. They love him. And as far as the Super Bowl goes, I said,
hey,
listen.
Hey, you know what? I'll run through a wall for you, man.
You're damn right. You better.
I'll run through a wall for you.
You better showing up 10 minutes late like this.
Yeah, you're
all over the place. You're all over the place.
You know what? There's not enough hours in the day.
I know.
I just got to add some hours to the day.
It's crazy.
You know what? I want to talk to you about, and he's in your neck of the woods, and I love this guy. One of the best goalies ever. Coaching the New York Islanders, Patrick Waugh. I'll see him when he comes out here. I love that guy. I love his intensity. Boy, the Islander-Ranger battles are going to be fun.
Yeah, and you know what? The Rangers were playing so good, and you can't play as well as they were playing for 82 games. And they kind of just hit a rut here. These last couple of weeks, they got a big win the other day. There's still a long way to go. That is what I talk about. Like, that's going to be coming next week, because once this football season's over, it's a lull, and you're just trying to get yourself through the February into the March Madness to the tournament, and then it's spring. Because you know what? There's no the biggest false narrative of the whole year is pitches and catches. When everyone's like, baseball's back. Baseball's not back. Pitches and catches. It's still snowing here when pitches and catches. You still got 8 weeks before there's a regular season game. Everyone's like, pitches and catches, spring. It's not spring. You still got a long way to go.
I know you're excited. Hey, wait, don't feel sad there. The groundhog's coming out in a couple days.
Yeah.
They'll tell you if you got 8 more weeks of winter. But hey, you know what? It's funny you say that with the pitchers and catchers and everything. Justin Turner just signed with the Blue Jays. Boy, the Blue Jays are going to be stacked.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are going to be good, but hey, listen, your Dodgers are out there. They're the talk about stacked. They better win.
I got to run in. I got to run and see it. I was in a sports bar, and the Dodger fans that listen to everything we do and say, hey, when are you going to start your rant with the Dodgers? I said, I'm just letting everybody get excited, buy their gear, and wait till March when I unload on all you guys, because that's where I'm going to hear your World Series predictions and all this other stuff. They don't hang championships in LA. They hang regular season banners.
I think I got that on your intro. Mark, I'm not going to get you. I don't want a Super Bowl pick now, because I'm going to have you back next week and you're going to give me a Super Bowl pick then. But I know you have to run. Listen, thanks for coming. It's great to see you. If you need anything from the mayor, just let me know.
Family?
Everybody's great.
I love the coffee. I love the coffee segue.
Yeah, bro. We got
it's
we got
to get them on. I want to give a big shout out.
Yeah.
I love these guys.
Bro, we got coffee. I got booze. There's all kinds of stuff that is being sold at this thing. It's unbelievable. I'll send it to you. But hey, listen, I am going to send you a Super Bowl box. You're going to buy a Super Bowl box for me. We're running the pool.
Yeah, I am. Hey, listen, we got to get Mancini bread out of Pittsburgh to sponsor this show, too.
And hey, listen, you come out to New York, I'll get you to a Knicks game. You don't even have to pay for it. I'm good friends with the mayor now.
I love you, brother, man. Stay well. Stay safe. Have a blessed weekend. I'll talk to you next week, man.
Will do. Mark Mancini. We'll get Mark's Super Bowl pick next week. You know who I'm taking? I'm taking the Chiefs because I'm done picking against the Chiefs. And, you know, rough day for the Jets, right? Rough day for Jets fans. You figured you don't got to hear about it for another 6 months. And then, bam, the Athletic just slaps you right in the face with, like I said, everything we already knew. Like, was there really any bombshells in that article? I don't think so. What did you learn? You learned Nathaniel Hackett's terrible. Saleh, I guess Saleh being worried about the Giants is news. Saleh didn't like Wilson. Nobody likes Wilson. Saleh has no confidence in Wilson, of course. Rodgers is running the show over there. Rodgers basically disappeared after the injury. Of course. It's all stuff we knew. Nathaniel Hackett's terrible. No new news. Like, it's not going to be on the New Heights show with the Kelsey brothers. They're not going to be like, new news, and they're going to be talking about this article because there's nothing new news in this. So that does it for me. Quick episode here tonight. Just wanted to get Mark on. We'll talk to you next week. We'll talk to you later this week with Brett. We're going to, I will have the Super Bowl boxes up. They're going to be $10 a box. You get them through our social media. I'll put them on all the social medias here. Our social media, we'll run through them right here. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We have them all. So have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you later this week with Brett. Get yourself some Super Bowl boxes. Don't forget to visit the Vouch store. And we'll talk to you. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Walters. See ya.